Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Art Smart. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a series of specials that meant a lot to me as a kid and that I enjoy. And I'd like to talk to you about their DVD release here. Yes, it is This Is America, Charlie Brown, a series of specials that were released in the latter part of the 1980s. These were done by the original Peanuts creators in Lee Mendelsohn, Bill Melendez, and of course Charles Schulz. And unfortunately, they don't have Vince Guaraldi on here because he had passed away by this point. But definitely, they make reference to him, especially in the special "The Music and Heroes of America." When they talk about American history, they can talk about Bill Melendez. I'm sorry, Lee Mendelsohn and Vince Guaraldi, Kevin. They talk about him and the fact that he had a huge influence on jazz in the 1950s. So the special definitely is able to at least reference him here. Anyway, when I say the special, though, I mean it's a series of specials that were put together and released for educational purposes on United States television, and they have been put together here in this DVD. Let me tell you a little bit about this DVD package, and then we'll talk about specifics. Now, this has a two-disc special edition here where they give you these different specials: the Mayflower Voyagers, the birth of the Constitution, the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk, the NASA space station, the building of the Transcontinental Railroad, the great inventors, the Smithsonian and the presidency, and the music and heroes of America. So these particular specials were shown on television and were quite popular in the 1980s. However, I think they have gotten a bad reputation over the years for just being overly preachy. Unfortunately, I think these criticisms of this particular series are correct, or is correct, in that it really is quite preachy, and a lot of the feeling of the Peanuts characters is lost in order for them to give a very educational, informative tone, which I don't think really works for most of these specials. Now, you do see little glimpses of the Peanuts characters and getting to enjoy them and their typical interactions with each other. You especially get that on the NASA space station, which is probably the best remembered out of these different specials. You also see just little glimpses of them, like on the Mayflower Voyages, where the characters were on the Mayflower and you see them struggling coming to the new country, and how they take the help of Native Americans in helping the colony to establish itself. So you do see little glimpses of the characters having personality moments. But in general, this is very educational stuff and the kind of thing that made most kids roll their eyes back into their head when they were watching educational films in school. The worst on here is probably The Great Inventors. That one really doesn't have a whole lot of feeling to it whatsoever. I would also say that the Smithsonian, the presidency, is pretty boring stuff. And the same for the Music and Heroes finale here. Probably the first disc is the most entertaining if you're going to watch any of these. The Mayflower is okay. The birth of the Constitution is okay. The Wright brothers, but like I said, the NASA space station is probably the most interesting if you are just trying to watch this for Peanuts fun. Now, I do, though, appreciate what they are trying to do here. They are trying to take these characters and help make American history more palatable and interesting. And they also were talking about the future of America, talking about NASA, and also talking a little bit about the Smithsonian and how the Smithsonian continues to carry on to this day, talking about how our country, the United States, has grown. In general, if you are not a big Peanuts fan, I would skip this. Your kids are going to be bored, you're going to be bored, and it's not teaching you anything that you're probably not going to learn better elsewhere. If you are Peanuts completionists, though, this is pretty cool. I do think that they could add some special features and some additional information, which they really don't have here. It's pretty straightforward. They just kind of give you the specials. I do think, though, that they give you nice, clean versions of it. They haven't been cut or edited in any weird way. And yes, there are edited versions that are being shown now on national television. For example, the Mayflower Voyages has been shown on television around Thanksgiving time, usually packaged with a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, but it's heavily edited for time. So if you want to see the original, you definitely should probably pick this up. I wouldn't spend more than about $20 maybe used on this particular set, because it's just not interesting or really strong enough to spend more money than that. I do think that it's kind of a disappointing way for the Peanuts to start to dissipate. They did have a few more specials in the 90s, which I think were okay, but this is really kind of a telltale sign that the Peanuts were starting to jump the shark a little bit, and they were starting to lose their feel of the characters. It just isn't quite the same original feeling cartoons here, and for the most part it's just not very entertaining unless you're looking back on it like me in a nostalgic sense. So hopefully this helps you make your cartoon purchasing decisions easier. Hopefully you just enjoy watching cartoons along with me, and hopefully this makes you a little bit more art smart. Bye bye everybody. Bye.